Frazer glared at Sharon in disgust but didn't say a word. "Okay then, no problem," said Sharon. She snapped her fingers and said, "You can pay for all the wine we ordered. It all costs well over several $1,000s. You can leave as soon as you've paid the bill. But if you don't have the money and still want to pay me, you must play by my rules." She pointed to the wine on the table and said, "If you want to leave, then drink up all the wine. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere. Security!" With a shout from Sharon, more than 10 of Mackenzie's bodyguards rushed down from upstairs and surrounded Frazer and Lynn. The scene scared everyone else in the place. From the looks of it, Sharon has probably brought all of her family's bodyguards, thought Frazer. Sharon noticed that Frazer seemed dismayed at the sight of the bodyguards. She had expected Lynn to ask him for help, purposely giving her the chance to call him. "So, you piece of trash," Sharon said. "You were good at fighting before, so let's try it again today. You might be able to take on 1 or 2 of these guys on your own, but I don't believe that you can fight more than 10. Also, this is not the Wilsons' property, so don't expect anyone else to come to your rescue." After listening to Sharon, Lynn shuddered and grabbed Frazer's arm. "Frazer, what should we do now? Why don't we call the police?" Lynn spoke in fear. "There's no need," he replied. He prepared himself to fight, but before he could make a move and teach those people a lesson, Henry called. Henry reported that he had finished doing what Frazer had previously asked him to take care of. He told him that Mackenzie's company had already gone bankrupt. Also, due to the large number of homes that were sold by the Philly Group, which had severe structural and quality issues, a lawsuit against the Philly Group was going to be filed the following day. "Ah, that saves me a lot of trouble," Frazer muttered to himself. He called over the bar owner, who had been watching the show. "What's the matter, mister?" the bar owner asked. As he spoke, he winked at Sharon to give her a sense of the incoming trouble. "I want to pay for tonight's expenses," said Frazer. "You? What the hell are you talking about?" shouted Sharon. "You're just a nobody. You'd have to sell a kidney to pay for all this." Ignoring Sharon, he fished out a black card and handed it to the owner. The owner tentatively showed Frazer the bill. Frazer agreed, and the amount was immediately transferred to the bar's account. While Sharon and the others were still stunned, Frazer moved closer to the owner and whispered to him while he looked at Sharon. After hearing what he had to say, the bar owner's expression changed. He glared at Sharon and said coldly, "I want you to pay the rental fee for this place right now. I believe we've agreed on $30,000 for the night. You're not leaving until you pay it." Sharon seemed insulted. "What are you saying? You're in the hospitality business, so you should have heard of the Mackenzie Club's reputation, right? I'm a member of the Mackenzie family. My dad gave me 3 credit cards, and they're worth millions. Do you honestly think that I won't be able to pay?" Sharon pointed at Frazer and said, "He's a nobody. How could he afford to pay you? He's married into a family that isn't even wealthy." She then turned to the bar owner and said, "You need to ask him about the source of the money he gave you." The owner smiled indifferently and said, "Miss Mackenzie, are you joking? As long as he has the money to give me, I don't care how he got it, even if he's stolen it. You, on the other hand, haven't paid your bill. You promised to pay $30,000 for the rental of this place, and I need the payment now." As he said that, he snapped his fingers at a beautiful woman at the front desk. "Go and take the payment from Miss Mackenzie," he asked her. "Yes, sir." The woman smiled and carried the card reader over to Sharon. "Miss Mackenzie, would you—" Sharon stopped her and said, How dare you treat me like this? I'm a member of the McKinsey family, so you don't have to chase me for payment. You can send an invoice to my family's offices. The woman stared at Sharon and felt a little afraid of her. She lowered her head, hoping that Sharon would just pay up. A staff member ran over and shouted, "Boss, there's big trouble." "What are you panicking about?" asked the owner. "What trouble are you talking about?" The man took out his cell phone and handed it to the boss. "Something has happened to the McKinsey family," the man said. "It looks like they've gone bankrupt." "Oh, crap," the owner muttered. If he still had doubts about Frazer and the news he had revealed earlier, those doubts had just evaporated. He strode over, took the card machine off his employee and handed it to Sharon. "Miss McKinsey, please settle the bill now," the owner demanded. Sharon looked indignant and said, "You can't. Cut the crap and pay the bill. Your family is broke, yet you still dare to come here to eat and drink? Are you trying to steal from me? Pay the damn bill." The owner was losing his cool. Sharon was shocked by the sudden change in the demeanor of the owner. She took out a card and swiped it. The machine beeped and displayed a message. Payment declined. "What?" She panicked and hastily took out another credit card. However, after swiping it, the notification sound was exactly the same. Payment declined. She nervously pulled out her last card and swiped it. The same message appeared, completely destroying her last sliver of hope. "It's over. I'm so humiliated," she thought. Seeing Sharon in such a state, the other people there began to stir, as if afraid that the bill would be apportioned to them. I've suddenly remembered that I still have something to do tonight, so I'll be leaving now," a student murmured, evidently lying. "I've drunk far too much this evening, so it's time I went home," another student lied. "My friend has booked a table at my favorite restaurant and is waiting for me. I can't get out of it. Bye." One by one, all of Sharon's apparent friends wanted to walk out on her. "If this bill isn't settled, no one will be able to leave," the owner shouted. Then a group of security guards rushed into the bar and surrounded Sharon and her friends. As for the McKinsey family's bodyguards, after seeing the news of the family's bankruptcy, they had already slipped away and left. If they weren't going to get paid, they wouldn't continue working. Sharon was utterly stunned. At that moment, she felt like she had lost her entire world. She burst into tears and gave her mother a call. However, when her father heard Sharon was in a bar and had spent $30,000 in one night, he was enraged and scolded her for her foolishness.
To watch the full episode, install the Pocket FM app